Fantasy romance anime hits different when it mixes magic, drama, and relationships that have no business being that cute. Today, we're diving into 6 fantasy romance series that hook you instantly and keep you emotionally invested from start to finish. Kicking off with number 6, Snow White with the Red Hair. There's wholesome romance, and then there's Snow White with the Red Hair, a show so gentle it could probably heal your childhood trauma without even trying. Shirayuki isn't your typical damsel in distress. She's basically the I mind my business and drink water type, until a clown prince decides he wants her as his personal toy. Instead of panicking, she chops off her iconic red hair, dips out like a queen, and runs straight into Zen, the most respectful anime prince of all time. Like seriously, the man respects boundaries, encourages her career, apologizes properly, and doesn't do that weird, I'm cold because I'm secretly in love act other anime men pull. The world building is light and cozy, which makes the romance shine harder. Watching Shirayuki work to become a court herbalist while Zen tries not to combust every time she smiles? Beautiful. Their chemistry is that slow burn type that doesn't drag, but still makes you kick your feet like a teenager with a crush. Even the side characters carry the vibe. Obi alone deserves a whole spin-off because he stays loyal, sarcastic, and slightly chaotic in all the best ways. This anime isn't dramatic for the sake of drama. It feels like watching 2 healthy adults grow together in a fairy tale setting. But trust me, number 3, it'll mess with your head in the best way possible. Sliding to number 5, The Ancient Magus' Bride. If Snow White with the red hair is soft sunlight, The Ancient Magus' Bride is that beautifully haunted forest where you're like, yes, it's creepy, but also kind of stunning. Chisa's life starts horribly, abandoned, sold, and hopeless. But instead of the usual hero rescuing the broken girl, the story treats her pain with nuance and builds her back up piece by piece. Elias, the big skeletal fey wizard man with social skills equivalent to a confused houseplant, buys her. But the show somehow turns that into one of the most emotional, complex relationships in fantasy anime. Every episode is a mix of cozy moments and, oh wow, this magical creature could actually murder everyone if it felt like it. The visuals go hard, the folklore references are top tier, and the soundtrack makes you feel like you're standing in an ancient cathedral. Chise and Elias aren't a normal pairing, they're a slow evolution. Elias starts off literally not knowing what emotions even are, and Chise slowly teaches him how to be human without losing herself. The side characters? Elite. Ruth, the sassiest demon dog ever created, deserves all the treats. And the show never sugarcoats trauma, but it doesn't exploit it either. It's enchanting, eerie, and unexpectedly heartwarming. The vibes stay unmatched from start to finish. Landing on number 4, Kakuriyo, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. This anime feels like being dropped into Studio Ghibli's spirit world, except the rent is overdue and someone expects you to cook for an entire supernatural hostel. Aoi gets yeeted into the hidden realm because her grandfather apparently ran up a spiritual debt, like some anime version of a mischievous uncle. The Ogre Lord Odana wants repayment in the form of marriage, but Aoi's like, no thanks, but I will cook my way out of this like a responsible queen. What follows is a feast-filled fantasy where the romance grows subtly but sweetly. Aoi uses food like a weapon of peace, taming spirits, solving drama, and making grown supernatural beings cry over her meals. Odana, meanwhile, is giving mysterious husband material energy, calm, patient, and just soft enough to make you suspicious. The world is packed with yukai politics, magical restaurants, and side characters who look like they stepped straight out of a folklore encyclopedia. What makes this anime addictive is that it doesn't rush the love story. It lets Aoi work, grow, and reclaim her independence while slowly warming up to a guy who looks intimidating but treats her better than half the romance protagonists out there. If you love fantasy worlds filled with charm, flavor, and low-key thirst, this one hits the spot. Looking at number 3, Noragami. Now listen, Noragami is one of those anime that tricks you. You click play expecting vibes and comedy, and suddenly you're deep in an emotional chokehold you didn't sign up for. Yato, the self-proclaimed delivery god for 5 yen, wants to become a revered deity, but right now he's basically a broke supernatural freelancer. Enter Hiyori, who accidentally gets stuck halfway between the human world and the spirit world, leaving her soul slipping out like it's late for an appointment. Their dynamic? Gold. The banter flows effortlessly. The chemistry sneaks up on you. And watching Yato pretend he doesn't care while literally risking his life for her every other episode is peak romance energy. Yukine adds drama like a teenager contractually obligated to cause chaos, but his growth arc? Phenomenal. The world of gods, phantoms, and mythologies blends action, humor, and heartbreak so well that one minute you're laughing at Yato being unserious, and the next minute you're emotionally shattered by his tragic past. And don't get me started on the OST. It carries the exact cool urban supernatural vibe this show thrives on. Romance isn't the main focus, but the emotional tension, delicious. Hiyori grounding Yato while Yato fights his darkness is the kind of slow burn connection that feels earned. If you aren't hooked by episode 2, check your pulse. Dropping into number 2, Yona of the Dawn. Some fantasy romance anime give you butterflies. Yona of the Dawn gives you character development so powerful, you'll want to stand up and salute. Yona starts as a sheltered princess whose biggest problem is choosing accessories, until her cousin pulls the ultimate betrayal and turns her whole world into a tragedy speedrun. Suddenly, she's on the run with Hawk, the bodyguard with enough loyalty and simmering love to make the entire fandom combust simultaneously. What makes this anime special is Yona's evolution. She doesn't become strong overnight, and she doesn't rely on plot armor. She trains, adapts, learns archery, and gets tougher without losing her compassion. By the time she locks in her new purpose, she's not the powerless girl she once was. She's a leader. The fantasy world sprawls with mythology, political tension, and the legendary 4 dragons, each bringing their own flavor of chaos, humor, and emotional damage. The romance between Hawk and Yona? Top-tier slow burn. Hawk suffers silently like a man who knows the universe hates him, and every time Yona breathes near him, he looks like he's fighting demons. It's the perfect blend of adventure, heart, and chemistry. No wonder fans are still begging for a season 2. And finally, number 1, Fruits Basket. If emotional healing was an anime, it would be Fruits Basket. This series starts with Toru Honda literally living in a tent because life refuses to stop uppercutting her, but she still manages to radiate kindness like it's her full-time job. When she ends up living with the Soma family, who transform into zodiac animals when hugged, the show transforms from cute comedy to one of the deepest, most human stories in anime. Every character carries emotional weight, and the romance doesn't feel forced. It grows from shared wounds, trust, and vulnerability. Toru and Kyo's slow burn connection is beautifully awkward, painfully honest, and incredibly genuine. Meanwhile, Yuki is over there being perfect, elegant, and quietly tragic like the writer said, "Let's hurt this boy just a little." This anime doesn't shy away from trauma, generational pain, jealousy, or healing, but it balances all that with warmth, humor, and tiny moments that hit harder than entire dramatic arcs in other shows. The payoff in the final season? Worth every emotional roller coaster drop. It's romance, but it's also closure, forgiveness, and growth, wrapped in a story that'll have you smiling through tears. If you want fantasy romance that leaves you changed, this is the gold standard. That wraps up 6 fantasy romance anime guaranteed to pull you in fast and keep you hooked. Let me know which one grabbed your heart first, or drop your own recommendations in the comments. If you enjoyed the breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More anime deep dives and chaotic commentary are coming your way every week.